Here we go. Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe button, tell a friend. Here we have another crazy story. Lil Durk and a few of his friends, you know, has been basically, these guys right here have all been accused of leaving the state to go to California and do something bad to somebody. You know what they did. But here's what really happened, allegedly.
Out here moving like a mafia boss, forcing the feds to use tactics that have been used to bring down mafia families. Authorities have Durk on tape admitting to murders. And it's not only the murder of Quando Rondo's cousin. From having his brother's killers murked to ordering the death of an informant's baby mama, Durk was out here flying his killers in private planes.
Vaughn is dead, right? Okay, well, how the f is these paying for a jet?
This is going to be one.
So basically, a lot of individuals saying, you know what? Lil Durk is basically responsible for everything. I do know that Lil Durk, he did sign King Von. I do know that for certain.
Wild ride. OTF snitch sells out Lil Durk. If there's one thing that Lil Durk has made clear in his past interviews, it's that he hates snitches.
I hate all rats. If you ever told, you ever tell, I hate you. Like with a passion. I really hate.
And I said Lil Durk saying that he really hate rats. And the reason why he said he really hate rats, because he said a rat is the one who separated him from his father, meaning his father was behind the bars for about 25 years. And he's saying that a rat is the one who got his father, you know, to do all that time. But in reality, Lil Durk was just making that up. His father was doing crimes. He was a notorious criminal. In reality, that's why he went to jail. He actually got caught for the crimes he was doing.
That's with real passions. Like, I hate you bad. I'm looking to the camera. I hate rat.
What's crazy is that Durk might be in cuffs because one of his mans told on him. According to court documents, a dude named OTF Jam, who was a trusted member of the crew, played a...
As you can see, Lil Durk, he hate rats. He just hate them with a passion. You know, he really does. Listen to him say it one more time.
What's crazy is that Durk might be in cuffs because one of his mans told on him. According to court documents, a dude named OTF Jam, who was a trusted member of the crew, played a crucial role in the investigation that brought down Lil Durk. It turns out that this dude had been released from prison in 2022 after...
Think about that. He got released in 2022. Lil Durk started rapping in, I believe, 2012. So what's that, 10 years? Is that 10 years? Yeah, so basically, if Lil Durk didn't allow this criminal to be around him, he probably wouldn't be where he is right now.
Serving 12 years for attempted murder. Apparently, he was an informant who had been cooperating with authorities for years. The craziest part about all this is that he wore a wire while around Lil Durk and other OTF gang members.
Wow, that's very scary right there. Wearing a wire around your friends. I mean, you know what? Believe it or not, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. You're not trying to go back to jail. You're not trying to go back there.
Which provided intel to the feds, a betrayal that no one saw coming, not even Durkio. According to the indictment, Jam's recordings and the information he provided were key in linking Durk to the now infamous murder for hire plot that almost took out Quando Rondo.
To be honest, I don't believe so. I believe that Lil Durk was rapping about what he was doing also, making music videos about it also. So maybe it was a combination of everything. But Lil Durk definitely played a role. I do know that for certain. Ha ha. Go.
If you understand OTF Jam's relationship with Durk, then his involvement in ratting out the OTF boss will shock you, and his secret recordings, which have formed the backbone of the case against Durk, will start to look like the worst case of backstabbing in hip-hop history. Jam, a longtime member...
I know that Lil Durk is always talking about that back door. He probably got back door in a different type of way. It's crazy.
Of OTF was considered a brother by Lil Durk. During Jam's 12-year incarceration for attempted murder, Durk stood by him, providing financial support and ensuring that Jam's needs were met. This included covering...
They said Jams, when he was behind the bars, he was treating Lil Durk like an ATM. Whenever he needed money, it was right. He just, made a phone call. It's right there.
fees, purchasing a house and car, and gifting him more than $50,000 in cash.
Say he gave you 50, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Right?
More than that shit. That's like more than that. Shit.
But shit, can you tell us how much he gave you, or you don't want to even know? You don't want to
No, I ain't gotta give him all that, but bro.
Some people say, you know what? Maybe Lil Durk was giving OTF Jams all that money because he wanted him around for his own personal muscle, if you know what I mean.
Hey, shit. He made a way for me to be straight, like.
But if this wasn't enough, Durk also took care of OTF Jam, even while he was in jail. So what would make someone turn on their homie without any remorse?
Like, Durk come through with the that's sure. So I don't give a nobody say, like, I know I'm the real witness. Like, a lot of niggas can't say they ain't seen the tricks. I ain't gonna like my whole time in jail, I was straight.
It turns out Durk may have been involved in the death of his baby mama.
The whole time he was in jail, he was straight, relaxing. Had all the canteen he wanted, all that commissary, you know, all the noodles he wanted he had because of Lil Durk. Now Lil Durk is the one eating the noodles now.
To reports, Lil Durk found out that Jam had been wearing a wire all along. Determined to get his revenge, Durk knew.
Is that really the truth? They saying that Lil Durk allegedly unalive OTF Jam's baby mother. Is that the truth? If that's the truth, I mean, there's no more allegiance. I don't believe so. Imagine that. Imagine you do something to somebody's baby mother, you want them to, you know, have allegiance to you. That's unbelievable. This gotta be made up. It gotta be made up. It can't be true.
That getting an FBI informant murked could bring him unwanted attention from the feds, so he went after his child's mother, Octavia Redmond. And on a seemingly ordinary day in the West Pullman neighborhood of Chicago, the life of a beloved postal worker, Octavia Redmond, was tragically cut short on the 19th of July, 2024. At approximately noon, Octavia was in front of a Chicago home, preparing to deliver mail, when a stolen SUV pulled up nearby. The vehicle, later identified as the getaway car, was driven by a 15-year-old suspect. The suspect exited the SUV and approached Octavia with a chilling intent. Without warning, he shot her multiple times at close range, leaving her critically injured on the ground. The suspect, meanwhile, fled the scene in the stolen SUV.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I have to admit, a 15-year-old, I mean, was it for a different reason? I don't know. But a lot of these individuals from Chicago, for whatever reason, they love to steal people's cars and go commit crimes. I have no idea why. They don't want to get their own cars. I don't know.
48-year-old woman was taken to Christ Hospital in critical condition, where she was later pronounced dead at the hospital. In the immediate aftermath of the shooting, the Chicago Police Department launched an intensive investigation to track down.
She was 48 years old. I mean, OTF James, I believe he's only 30 years old, or 29. Or is he 31? I don't know. But I'm quite certain he's in his early, probably 30. So she was 18 years older than him? I don't know.
The suspect. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service also became involved, offering a substantial reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible. They took to their X account, where they announced a $250,000 prize for information leading to the arrest.
I mean, did I hear right? Did they say she was 48? I thought I heard 48.
And conviction of the suspect responsible for the homicide. As the investigation unfolded, authorities utilized footage from police and private cameras to trace the suspect's movements before and after the shooting. The stolen SUV was identified, and an anonymous tip provided crucial information that helped identify the suspect. Months passed as investigators worked tirelessly to bring the perpetrator to justice. The breakthrough came when the suspect was located in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and arrested on a murder warrant. Despite Durk's loyalty to his homie, Jam decided to become what the Chicago rapper hates the most, a rat. But having his baby's mother killed didn't solve anything. The damage was already done.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. She doesn't seem like 48 years old. She seems look a little younger. I don't know. But either way, they're saying that Lil Durk allegedly is the one who's responsible for this. Imagine that. Imagine if it's all made up and someone's putting this on your name. That's crazy.
So what exactly did OTF Jam reveal to the cops that might see Durk get the death penalty? Well, OTF Jam's revelations to the cops started with the tragic events of November 6, 2020. That night, King Von, Durkio's best friend, was killed outside an Atlanta nightclub. The altercation began as a physical fight between Von and Quando Rondo, escalating into gunfire when a member of Rondo's entourage allegedly shot Von multiple times, resulting in his death. CCTV footage.
And they said this right here, ever since this night right here, things haven't been the same for Lil Durk. They said his friends kept on pressuring him to go slide for Von, get back gang. So it's like he had no choice but to. Unfortunately, Lil Durk, he thought maybe there was a perfect way of committing a crime. Imagine wanting to commit a crime and you think there's a perfect way of doing it.
Showed Von approaching fellow rapper Quando Rondo and punching him to the ground. Von's guys joined in and started beating the brakes off Quando as he tried in vain to get away from his attackers. As the assault went on, one of Quando's homeboys, who was later identified as Lil Tim, appeared from behind their vehicle with a gun in hand and started letting off shots as everyone ran away. Von was hit on his torso. He would later die from his gunshot wounds while in hospital during surgery. For Lil Durk, the death of his friend was not only a personal tragedy, but also a catalyst for further animosity.
They said Lil Durk, unfortunately, after the passing of King Von, that's when his career started blossoming. He started getting bigger and bigger, more and more popular, you know? So maybe that's another reason why Lil Durk felt obligated to do something, allegedly. I don't know.
It's Quando Rondo. Rumors began to circulate that Durk had placed a bounty on Rondo's head, fueling speculation and fear within the industry. Court documents show that OTF Jam told cops that after Von's death, Durk used coded language to tell OTF members that he would pay a bounty to anyone who would take part in killing Quando Rondo. Durk's cousin.
That's crazy. For some strange reason, a lot of these criminals, believe it or not, they think they could talk in codes. They really do. I want 10 hats, 45 pairs of shoes, 2 blankets, an extra bottle of milk. Crazy, huh?
And DeAndre Wilson also told OTF members that anyone who took part in the murder would be rewarded with lucrative music opportunities with OTF, which was also a music label. In August 2022, Lil Durk's associates allegedly learned that Quando Rondo was staying at a hotel in Los Angeles and plans to murk Quando were set in motion. Lil Durk's associates, DeAndre Wilson, Keith Jones, David Lindsay,
a lot of individuals trying to figure out how the Lil Durk, know Quando's Rondo exact locations. A lot of individuals saying, you know what, it might be somebody from California. It doesn't really matter. Either way, they found them. And these individuals right here, the one that's responsible for it, I guess they didn't have, to go to work. So they decided to go to California, go commit a crime.
Asa Houston traveled from Chicago to San Diego and then driven to Los Angeles, allegedly using funds provided by Durk himself. The group was determined to carry out their mission with precision and stealth, avoiding any direct links to Durk by following his alleged instructions to avoid booking flights under names associated with him. The feds revealed.
Unbelievable. Instead of Lil Durk, being in the studio, trying to make another hit song, they say he was in a private plane going to California to go see about a crime. Think about it. See about a crime. It's like he had a show. Crazy.
That they obtained information from Durk's iCloud, where he warned them not to book anything in his name. However, despite the warning, they still went ahead and booked the flights using a credit card linked to Lil Durk and OTF. Upon their
Keep in mind, these individuals, they're down and out. They don't have any money. They don't have their own money, use their own money. They don't have their own credit cards. They really don't. So they had no choice but to. I wonder why they didn't just stay home.
arrival, the OTF members met with Kion Grant, a top associate who had flown to Los Angeles on a private jet. Grant played a crucial role in facilitating the operation, securing hotel accommodations for the group, purchasing ski masks, and obtaining 2 luxury sedans to be used in...
So let me get this right. These individuals want to commit a crime and to be in a hotel room at the same time. So they want to commit a crime in luxury. Comfortable.
Ambush. According to court records, Grant also provided Jones, Lindsay, and an unidentified third member with firearms, including one that had been converted into a machine gun, further escalating the potential for violence. As the day unfolded...
And that's what might get Lil Durk right there. They said that thing that turned to a machine gun. Imagine that, imagine that. I mean, I have to admit, Lil Durk was always talking about machine guns, switches and stuff like that in the songs.
The group allegedly began tracking Quando Rondo and his associate Robinson as they traveled around Los Angeles in a Cadillac Escalade. Their journey took them to various locations, including a marijuana dispensary and a clothing store in West Hollywood. The tension was palpable as the suspects followed their targets, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. The climax of the day's events occurred at a gas station across from the Beverly Center, a bustling area in the heart of Los Angeles.
The Beverly Center is a very, very, very highly respectful area. It's not a place where individuals want any type of crimes to be committed, kind of like the Gold Coast in Chicago. So it's very similar what happened to FBG Duck and what happened to you know, Lil Pav, you know, Quando Rondo cousin, you know, almost identical in a sense. It's crazy.
Here, Asa Houston allegedly parked his car strategically behind the station, setting the stage for the ambush. As Quando Rondo and Robinson stopped at the gas station, Jones, Lindsay, and the third unidentified man reportedly exited their vehicle, armed and ready to execute their plan. The suspects opened fire, unleashing a hail of bullets in an attempt to kill Rondo. Tragically, Lil Pab, Quando's cousin, who was standing outside the Escalade, was struck and killed.
That's crazy because I was listening to who was it? It was somebody. The fact that Lil Durk might get the death penalty in jail for the rest of his life to unalive an individual who wasn't even his target. Think about it. He must be kicking himself twice. They say, you know what? If he paid for that job, he should get a refund. Imagine that. Imagine get a refund. I mean, do you get refunds for hits? I don't know.
The gun.
It's gonna be a crazy story. Lil Durk, based off his own personal decisions, will determine how he spend the rest of his life and how his future will be. It's gonna be interesting what those decisions will be like.
Escaped unharmed. The scene was one of chaos and terror as bystanders scrambled for safety and the suspects fled the scene. Afterwards, the suspects regrouped at an In-N-Out hamburger stand where they allegedly discussed payment with Keon Grant. The group then made their way back to Chicago, flying from San Diego.
Making payments, talking about payments. Think about that, payments. These individuals is doing things for payments, huh? I mean, would it have made a difference if they did it for free? I don't know. Probably would have. I think so. Then they wouldn't have to worry about all that money transaction.
As authorities began piecing together the details of the brazen attack. Word on the streets is that these two murders aren't the only ones that Durk has paid for. From his brother's killer to an op who disrespected Von's mural, Durk has been moving reckless for a while. Murders Lil Durk has paid for.
That's crazy. So you trying to say that Lil Durk was he was getting out of control like this? So Lil Durk's responsible allegedly for unaliving more than one individual? That's crazy.
The earliest murder for hire plot that Durk has been caught up in involves the murder of his brother. The story starts with the death of Lil Durk's brother, D Thang, on June 7th, 2021. On a Sunday morning outside a strip club in South Suburban Harvey, shots were fired and D Thang was shot in the head. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Word on the street was that a dude named Stefan Mack was responsible for D Thang's death. So Lil Durk put a bounty on his head. And on January 7th, 2022, Mack was gunned down at the...
Lil Durk's a bad man. I mean, I have to admit, usually it's individuals who have access to a whole lot of money is the type of individuals who do these type of things. It's crazy.
Youth Peace Center of Roseland, located at 420 West 111th Street in Chicago. Soon, two men, Anthony Montgomery Wilson and Preston Powell, were indicted with murder for hire. The events leading up to Mack's murder were meticulously planned. Montgomery Wilson and Powell, along with other
Preston. How's Preston? What a name to have. Preston? Somebody named Preston's gonna want to commit a crime and go to jail with a name like that? That's crazy though.
Identified accomplices allegedly conspired to execute Mack in exchange for money. The plot involved the use of a cell phone and a 2014 Chrysler 300, which were deemed...
I could tell you a million times, and I tell you 1,000,001 times. These individuals didn't want to get a job. They wanted money. They were lazy. They rather commit a crime and go to jail forever than to get a regular 9-to-5. Think about that. Crazy.
Facilities of interstate commerce by prosecutors. As Mack exited the Youth Peace Center, gunmen emerged from a vehicle and opened fire, leaving him fatally wounded. A security guard was also injured in the attack but survived. The indictment, initially kept under seal, was made public, revealing the gravity of the accusations against the two men. Montgomery Wilson and Powell were charged with conspiracy to use an interstate facility in the commission of a murder for hire. Additionally, Montgomery Wilson faced an individual murder for hire count and a gun charge. As the legal proceedings unfolded, Montgomery Wilson found himself in custody, facing the full weight.
This is what's called career criminals. Career criminals, their only job is to get up in the morning and figure out what other crime to go commit. Career criminals.
Of the charges against him. During his arraignment, Montgomery Wilson pleaded not guilty, setting the stage for a potentially lengthy and contentious trial. His defense team is expected to challenge the evidence presented by the prosecution, which includes photos from the U.S. Attorney's Office allegedly showing him pursuing the victim with a firearm. Meanwhile, Preston Powell remains a fugitive, with law enforcement agencies actively seeking his arrest. The most high-profile murder that Durk is alleged to have paid for is that of FBG Duck. When Duck's killers were arrested,
that's crazy. So what they're saying, Lil Durk was responsible for FBG Duck too? I mean, to be honest with you, I thought about that before. I said, how King Von gonna have all this money so soon? I mean, I don't know. I'm just talking, you know? But I know that, you know, it was just crazy though. It's crazy to say that.
Back in 2021, word got out that Von had put a $100K bounty on his head. Turns out there was a rat in O-Block working with the feds, who revealed that the one who paid for the hit rewarded the killers with custom-made O-Block chains. A video surfaced on YouTube of King Von giving O-Block members custom-made chains. But according to sources in Chicago, it was actually Durk who put the hit on Duck and paid the killers.
I don't think Von paid them guys. I'm sorry to tell the world.
To know who actually paid the O-Block gang members to kill FBG Duck, FBG Butter revealed that you have to look at the suspect's arrest footage. It turns out Muwop and C Murder weren't arrested in O-Block.
Everybody arrest video coming out from when they got arrested for this Duck case.
Yeah.
They ain't show Muwop shit. Or C Murder's happy. Have y'all saw Muwop and C Murder go to jail on camera yet? Because everybody else involved in that case, arrest footage is on camera.
It turns out that they were arrested at a private hangar, which is crazy because no regular O-Block gang member could afford to charter a private.
Unbelievable. So unfortunately, all those individuals from O-Block, you know, they all down and out, you know, so they didn't have any money. So the money had to come from somewhere. So unfortunately, seemed like Lil Durk, he got himself in a bad situation, real bad situation.
Them boys got snatched at the airport on a private hangar.
What's interesting is that at the time of their arrest, Von was already dead. That would leave one person with that kind of money to fly out Muwapo and see Murder on a private jet, Lil Durk.
Von is dead, right?
Okay, well,
How the f is he paying for a jet?
Durk is also suspected of ordering the death of one of Duck's closest homies, FBG Cash, for disrespecting Von's mural. When King Von was killed, Cash...
That's crazy. They're saying Lil Durk is basically responsible for everything. That's crazy what they're saying, allegedly, you know what I'm saying? But FBG Cash, you know, he passed away almost, 5 o'clock in the morning? You know, I wonder what he was doing out so late. But that wasn't the first time that happened to him, something similar, and he was out around the same time. That's crazy. If he was home, he wouldn't have to worry about, you know, what happened to him. It's crazy.
Decided to take a photo next to the mural showing his middle finger. However, instead of having kind words for the deceased rapper, he captioned the post saying, "Whole world witnessed your main sniper get his shit splacked." This stunt did not go down well with Von's guys, and especially with Von's best friend, Lil Durk. Lil Durk decided to stick up for Von by warning Cash and...
Unfortunately, I said King Von was fresh out of prison, and, you know, Lil Durk wanted him around him right away because he's basically was using him like as a you know, one of his soldiers in a sense, if you know what I mean, one of his foot soldiers, you know, one of his steppers, just like OTF Jams. That's why Lil Durk brought OTF Jams around him, because, you know, I said, because he know how OTF Jam, how he gets down, you know?
Song Computer Murderers, where he raps sneaking pics by Von Morale like Lil Bro won't come out and spin. Seemingly enjoying the attention, Cash would use Durk's beat on Computer Murderers and continue dissing King Von, singing, "Von got his ass clapped. You had us thinking he was stretched." Cash even started trolling his ops in interviews. In one interview, he was asked about his infamous stunt at King Von's mural. He responded by saying that Lil Durk had told him to do it.
Then I think at some point you take the picture in front of O Block, in front of the King Von mural. So what was going on with all that?
Durk told me to do that.
Durk told you to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was only a matter of time before his ops would catch up with him, and a warning from Durk on social media gave a clue as to what would happen next. Lil Durk had taken to Instagram to warn him, "Don't diss Thang if you be lingering and chasing who's won't end well."
Unfortunately, as the days go by, the weeks go by, it seems like things are getting worse and worse for Lil Durk. More and more stories are coming out about things that he allegedly did. It could all be made up. I don't know. But we do know that Durk's in the feds right now. They said he might get life or he might get worse than that. Either way, I wonder why these individuals hate each other so much. Why didn't they just come together and make songs together instead of wanting to do bad things to each other? I have no idea. But one thing I do know for certain, I guarantee you they all regret it. I guarantee you they all wish they could take it back. I guarantee you they wish they could all be friends. But unfortunately, that could not happen, and it is what it is right now. But they say crime don't pay, but I see them do it though. I see them